It's been a mystery for 27 years. Who was the woman who was found dead inside a discarded refrigerator? Investigators say they finally have an answer.
On March 29, 1995, a recycler found an abandoned refrigerator that was partially submerged in a canal in Northern California. Inside the fridge, they found the remains of a woman. The death was ruled a murder, but there were no leads to follow. Over time, people started to call her the lady in the fridge case. For the next 30 years, investigators tried to find out who she was. Hi and welcome back to Mysterious Cases 007. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the case of a lady in the fridge finally revealed in 2023. Holt is a rural community in California's San Joaquin County. It is about 5 miles west of Stockton and has about 5,000 people living there. Holt is mostly a thriving farming town. It doesn't have much else besides a gas station, a post office, and a convenience shop. The quiet town mostly stayed out of the news until a terrible crime happened there in 1995. On March 29, 1995, a man named Floyd Lee Thomas was looking for things that could be sold for recycling in the unincorporated town of Holt and San Joaquin County, California. As he was climbing up the area of Bacon Island Road, he found an abandoned refrigerator. The refrigerator, which was golden in color, was full of blood. Thomas opened it because he was curious, and when he did, he found the remains of a dead person inside. Horrified by what he saw, the man called the police right away to let the experts handle the problem. Officers from the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office arrived at the scene within minutes. After searching the area, they found nothing else that could be used as evidence except for the refrigerator. They saw that the body was in a state of advanced decomposition, which made it impossible to identify the woman's face. She had been put in the refrigerator with a pillow, a sleeping bag, and a white and blue blanket. Her hands were tied behind her back. National Industrial's brand tape and a sock were in her mouth. The fridge also had half-pint crystal milk containers, a Glacier ice bag, a Nokia reusable ice bag, a rust or tanned colored bedspread made of fake fur, a Rubbermaid ice bucket, a blue bath towel, Wendy's ketchup container, a Kentucky Fried Chicken honey container, and a blue earpiece with one piece of string. Nobody knows if these things have ever been checked for DNA. Detectives think that even though the refrigerator was dumped there, the crime had happened somewhere else. Even though the body was broken down, the victim's clothes, which were obviously expensive, were still in good shape. The woman was wearing a blue hoodie, a Fruit of the Loom tee, and Levi's shorts with cuffs. She also had Victoria's Secret bra, knee-high socks in different colors, and size 8 Gorilla brand boots. A 3-carat diamond ring in a yellow setting was on the victim's right ring finger, and 2 pendants were found in her Levi's shorts. There was also a broken leather necklace with a metal clasp, but the victim didn't know she had any jewelry on her, which made it hard to identify her. As the next step in the investigation, the remains were sent to the San Joaquin medical exam. The autopsy report by forensic pathologists Charles Cecil and Thomas O'Neill gave a lot of information about the victim. The body was found to be that of a Caucasian woman between 29 and 41 years old, weighing about 85 to 115 pounds and standing about 5 feet 5 inches tall. The victim had strawberry blonde or red hair and well-kept nails. Her teeth were in good shape and may have had a lot of work done on them, like amalgam fillings. Her skull looked like it had been hurt, and her death was officially ruled a homicide, but they couldn't figure out the exact cause of death. The autopsy also showed that the victim's body had been in the fridge for at least 6 months before the discovery, which puts her death in 1994. Unfortunately, the autopsy didn't find anything that could help identify her. However, when investigators looked more closely at the refrigerator and the things inside it, they thought that the victim probably came from the East Bay area of Northern California. They looked through the missing person files in the area, but the remains didn't match the description of any missing person. When word got out about the case, detectives saw this as an opportunity. At some point, the case of the San Joaquin Jane Doe was put into the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, but the investigation didn't lead anywhere. Despite tireless efforts and countless hours of investigation, the trail eventually went cold. and the true identity of the woman in the fridge stayed frozen in time. Her remains were eventually buried in an unknown place and with an unknown name, despite the fact that there were no clues at all. Rasmussen was first suspected in this case because of the brand of milk that was found in the refrigerator. This brand of milk was only brought to a certain area, which happened to be where Rasmussen was at the time. Also, the victim's body showed signs of blunt force trauma to the head, like those of Rasmussen's other victims, but detectives did not have enough proof to charge him. Rasmussen died in jail in 2010, so he couldn't give any more confessions. At this point, the investigation was hampered so much that the case had reached a full circle of dead ends. Unfortunately, they were still a long way from figuring out who the victim was. It would be more than a decade before new technology gave them a glimmer of hope. The use of DNA technology played a significant role in solving the cold case of the lady in the fridge. Investigative genealogy, which combines DNA analysis with genealogy research and historical records, was used to find clues in the case. The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office, San Juan County Medical Examiner's Office, and Othram, a private lab in Texas, worked together to create a complete DNA profile for the unknown female victim using forensic-grade genome sequencing. The use of this technology helped to solve the case and has the potential to help solve other cold cases as well. Also, Othram's in-house genealogy team used forensic genetic genealogy to find leads that were then sent to the San Jose County Sheriff's Office for further research. As a result of a follow-up probe, the possible daughter of the victim was contacted. The daughter didn't know that her mother was missing, but she agreed to give a DNA sample to compare with the remains in 2023. After almost 30 years, the victim's identity was confirmed through a comparison report, surprising her family who had not known her real name for 27 years. The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office held a press conference in February 2023 where they revealed her name as Amanda Lynn Schumann. Amanda was born on August 11, 1965, and was likely 29 years old when she was killed in 1994. She grew up in a small family with just her mother and sister, but not much else is known about her early life. She had 3 children, 2 daughters, and a son, but no one knows how she got pregnant with them. She loved them with all her heart, but she was going through a hard time. For some reason, her children were taken away from her and put in adoptive homes. Veronica Tovar, the daughter who gave a DNA sample to prove that the remains were those of her mother Amanda Dizza, remembers her as being sweet and loving. She was taken from her mother's home when she was only 3 years old, so she only has a few memories of her. However, she knows that Amanda wanted her 3 children to stay together, and luckily, all 3 of them were eventually placed in the same adoptive home. Veronica, who is now 34 and works as a jewelry designer, said that she doesn't know why her mother isn't there. Veronica, the daughter of Amanda, has shared her memories of her mother's sadness before her disappearance. Amanda's family has finally learned the truth about her disappearance, but her death remains a mystery, and investigators are still looking for more information to fill in the gaps. The case is ongoing, and a reward of $10,000 is being offered by Stockman Crime Stoppers for any information that leads to the arrest of the person responsible for Amanda's death. No case is ever truly closed until justice is done, but we are glad that Amanda Dizza can finally rest in a grave with her name on it. What do you think about her tragic end? Do you think serial killer Terry Rasmussen could have killed her, or could it have been someone else?